welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles. This is my tag team partner, Paul Roma.
Ooh, Chris
And-
Benoit over here. Gary Rhodes is the name.
Tonight we're going to talk about the last show we did was a strictly WWE related show, and we're going to split them like this basically so we don't run into the problem we had last week having a 40-minute show.
Basically, we don't want you to get tired of hearing our voice.
Or seeing our pretty faces. This is going to be a TNA and everything else show. So, anything from Ring of Honor, any other independent wrestling, and the main focus, obviously, TNA, the second biggest promotion. But let's go right into it. The first big thing we want to talk about, the big story in TNA, is the wrestlers that are leaving.
Or their contracts are ending, negotiations, and all that good stuff.
You got the newest rumors are Bubba Ray and Devon, Bully Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boys, Team 3D, rumored to be their contracts are up and they may leave in 5 weeks.
And Morgan is still teasing a WWE return right now online.
Morgan has said as of today that he's not coming back to TNA. Now, is that true? Is he not really going to come back? Is it part of an angle? Is it a gimmick? Who knows, but he said it. He's put it out there. You got Angelina Love has left. Velvet Sky has left. Alex Shelley has left. Possibly, the rumor was Chris Sabin was going too.
Before he blew out his other knee.
Now, if you separate them, any of the losses by themselves aren't that huge. The biggest guy would be Bully Ray has been the biggest as far as...
Well, storyline wise, because he's got his deal with Chris Park, Abyss, or whatever you want to call him.
And as far as as being on the roster wise, he's the biggest.
Oh yeah.
Biggest thing on the roster to them. Now, obviously Shelley is younger and a better wrestler than him, but...
And I think Shelley, given time, could be as good as him. He's just a young kid. He's only 26, 27?
I think he's around there, 27, maybe 30 at the most.
Well, you look at it this way. If Bubba Ray, Devon do leave, they're in the best shape they've ever been in. I think Vince would keep them on a 5-year deal, and they, end gracefully. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be like one last match, just like the Road Warriors had their final match before Hawk died.
I agree. The smart thing for them to do was to cash in on their last paycheck while they still can, while they still got enough of a name draw. The Raw's going to 3 hours, so there's time to fill.
Well, the thing is too, I think they would be the first, if they do go to work for Vince, they will be the first tag team to ever have a Legends deal, because I'm sure Vince will give them a Legends contract.
Technically, the Road Warriors got that deal.
But I'm just talking about still being able to wrestle a match. I know the Road Warriors got it, but I'm talking, as far as consistently being in a match. More like an Undertaker style deal. Like the original Undertaker deal, not the one where you wrestle one match and then you go home for the rest of the year,
And then off of that, we got that's could be something that ends up crippling TNA, which since they've gone live, it's been a really excellent show. The writing has stepped up. The gimmicks have made more sense. The storylines have been more coherent. There doesn't seem to be as many nonsensical heel turns.
No.
It doesn't seem, you're just turning a guy to turn a guy. People are turning to make sense. The gimmicks they're doing, the angles they're running are starting to make sense and be fleshed out all the way.
I'm kind of predicting the next one of the heel turns it's not going to be a big heel turn, but I think Sanjay Dutt will probably turn heel.
After the
whole, your shoulder's not good enough gimmick. I just see it. I don't know.
It could work. I don't believe Sanjay as a heel though.
No, he's too
face.
Yeah, exactly. He's just too much of a baby face.
He's the Kofi Kingston up there.
Yeah, but I think if he does turn heel and it works, he'll put asses in the seats.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler. He's damn good, and he brings a certain audience in the same. He's an Indian, so that brings Indian people want to see Indian wrestlers. That's why Khali got a fucking job.
Well, I'll tell you what, honestly, Vince should have picked him up over Khali. I know he's not giant like Khali, or been in movies like Khali.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you got an active guy that's Indian on the roster, it's better money. He can make better money with Khali, or not with Khali, but with Sanjay than Khali. Just, as many more matches as he can get out of him.
But the difference is that he's American, that's Indian.
Descent, yeah.
Not an Indian from India, like.
Yeah, like I said, tomato. People still go for him. They went for Batista in the Philippines, and he's never been over there.
That's because the Philippines has like 500 people. And Manny Pacquiao, that's it. Yeah. Pacquiao and Batista.
That's your two legends.
That's your legends. And then you go into the gut check segments, which, other than Joey Ryan, the guy that failed the gut check, which is all part of a gimmick. It's obvious it's part of a gimmick at this point. But other than the guy that's failed, none of these gut check guys have stood out to me. The guy that wrestled tonight, Sam Shaw, came out in fucking swimming trunks.
Like I said, it could be his gimmick. I mean, they did announce he was from fucking Daytona Beach, Florida.
So put it in his fucking gimmick. Have him come
on the surfboard. I was gonna say that shit.
Have him come down with Shane Douglas as his mentor. He's a dynamic dude.
You can have John Laurinaitis come out with him.
Remember, they want us to speak up, GRD.
Oh, I'm sorry. John Laurinaitis. John Laryngitis. Awesome.
A little bit more bass in your voice.
Oh, John Laurinaitis. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Pretend like you've had puberty hit you.
True.
I guess.
Anyways.
But, the gut check, I think the segment, it's not fleshed out well. It doesn't seem like they've wrote it before they go out there. It seems like they're totally winging it with guys that are greener than baby shit. And that's a problem, because the guys don't know how to roll. Taz, Brother Love, Al Snow, they know how to roll off of each other.
Yeah, well, Taz and Brother Love, I mean, you honestly have two of the best talkers. As far as their age generations and stuff, I mean, Brother Love wasn't a wrestler, no, by no means, but he was also always a great interviewer, stuff like that. He could pull an interview almost out of anybody. Either his Brother Love was my favorite Rio Rogers. Well, I mean, it did go to the Hart family.
Anyways, in the past.
Exactly.
And, well, Al's not bad. Al had the stuff he did with Blackman was decent. He made Blackman look good. The shit he did with Mickey Foley. That's always good. I mean, him and Foley worked well together. He had good interviews in ECW. The head stuff was good. The shit with Boss Man.
Yeah, Pepper.
Eating
pepper. Straight ate pepper. Anyway, we're getting way off topic, but the kid today, he had a good look to him. The match really wasn't
anything special.
No, it wasn't nothing that really out.
It wasn't nothing that we haven't seen from the random X Division wrestlers that they've had over the years. If this kid wrestles for 6 months and we never see him again, we aren't going to remember him. Just like the 50 other guys that have wrestled in the X Division that we have.
Well, it's like their champion now, that Zima kid. I just don't see nothing in him. I really don't. I don't think he's a great heel.
He's a Filipino too.
Yeah, but their market's not big enough to really worry about the Philippines.
We just touted Batista.
I'm talking about WWE. They're way different right now. You're talking about the #1 show compared to number 2 show by a long shot.
Not by a long shot.
Not by a long shot.
But and that's a good segue. You're talking about Zemayon and potential for WWE. Who do you think would be a good guy that's wrestling on TNA now that isn't a WWE retread or like Anderson? Not Anderson, not none of those guys, but a guy that's never made it.
Right off the back, Rude.
Bobby Roode.
I mean, he was on the Sunday Night Heats, which doesn't count for shit. He was a jobber on there when he was like 20 years old.
So is Brian.
Yeah, I mean, so is Punk.
So is Samoa Joe.
Exactly. I think right now, Rude's best deal is to stay away from that title and try to jump ship.
Get a WWE contract.
Exactly. I don't think Vince would start him off down in Florida Championship. I think he'd go right to the main roster.
Yeah, he's got the talent. He's got the size. He's got a decent.
He's got the look. He's got the mouth, and he's got the brains.
He's got the brains for the business, and that's a good thing. He seems to have the desire too.
Oh yeah.
Because he stuck out through the Team Canada.
Team Canada, the beer money was really brought him out, but before that he was kind of floundering.
Yeah.
When he did the whole kind of almost like $1 million man gimmick back in the day, remember?
Yeah.
And had Miss Brooks with him and stuff like that. He went through that. Because, I mean, that was just a mid-carder. And right now he's a main eventer. I think he's a legit main eventer. Like I said, I think if he went to work for Vince put his money behind that kid, he could main event WrestleMania. I see it in him.
I can see that too. My guy, personally, and it could be just my thing.
Well, I know you're a pick too.
I'm a mark for the guy, Samoa Joe.
And he's a great guy.
Samoa Joe, we've got a long tradition. Anybody that's watched wrestling for 20, 30, 40 years, Samoans have always been in there, always well represented everywhere from Afa and Sika, Haku, Amaga, the Uso brothers.
Well, the reason I picked Storm Rude over him.
It's hard to disassociate.
Yeah, well, they were together for so long.
Yeah.
But the reason I picked Rude over him is because I know Joe's going there eventually.
I
mean, CM Punk's one of his best friends.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan's there. They've wrestled each other. Who's the one that just got there? Is it Dean Ambrose?
They got Dean Ambrose just getting there, who used to be John Moxley. Chris Hero.
Chris Hero.
Who's now Cassius Ohno. Claudio Castagnoli, who is now Antonio Cesaro. All, they've all met in the Indies with Joe before.
Well, I see the next thing going there, which we're off topic a little bit on our TNA thing, but one thing I want to say is I think that, you remember back in the 60s, all the music went to the Beatles, went to European, the music all went like this. Well, I think pretty soon wrestling's going to go all to indie. Sorry, not India. We say indie so much. It's going to go indie. All these indie greats, I think this will be the time for them to shine. I think a lot of these guys that are wrestling in these bingo halls, VFWs, what have you.
Showboat casinos in Minneapolis,
yeah, exactly.
Minnesota.
Anyways, I think Vince is going to have some eyes on these guys. He's going to have a traveling little band of, agents going to these small wrestling shows and checking these guys out and seeing, the next star.
The thing of it is now that a lot of these indie shows are putting on iPay-per-views where they're streaming their shows live over the internet. So it's not hard to plop 10, 5, 15 bucks down and watch an indie show. What you guys, if you're into this thing, check them out. Look it up. You got some guys. You got the guys that are coming up. You got guys that you haven't seen in a while that are just there for a paycheck, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But if your favorite guy is someone like Tatanka, some of these older guys that Kevin Nash, I know Kevin Nash wrestles a lot in the indies. If you like these guys still, I mean, watch them. I watch them. I still like them.
Oh, you can't. I mean, Kevin Nash. I mean, he's a brilliant businessman. I mean, right now he's going to these indie shows and he's under a Legends contract.
And he's garbage.
Yeah, but honestly,
every move is a blown quadricep.
Well, 6 moves. That's all he's got.
Well, that's how many quadriceps he's got. One move. He's got one move for every beer that Scott Hall drank during the match.
Oh shit! I don't know about that. I think Scott's got about two beers on every movie he's got. Anyways.
Well, I'm talking about just the match he had with Bob Backlund.
Jesus Christ. That whole 8 seconds. That was something else. Anyways.
Then you got back to my point. The Samoa Joe, I think he could be what was planned for Umaga would be Samoa Joe. I think the only reason, because Umaga was getting over big. He had the big gimmick in the WrestleMania with Trump and McMahon. They were building him as a monster. He was a big monster, and he got fired because of drugs.
Oh yeah, and that's something you don't have to worry about with Joe.
No, Joe's not a drug addict.
He'll drink beer, but that's about it. He's he's always admitted that. But I've never heard about him with drugs or anything like that. I think he's a clean guy.
Well, who knows this? I don't think TNA drug test, so he could be a drug.
Well, I think he's clean. I mean, that's just my opinion of the guy.
It seems to be, but you never know. No one ever thought that Chris Benoit was going to kill his fucking kid.
No.
I still don't think he would. I think it was Sullivan. But anyway, that's another story for another fucking show.
Exactly.
And
anyway.
Nice. Now, going into the big angle that they hyped the whole night was Chavo Guerrero debuting.
Wow. That'll really put some asses in the seats.
Well, Nothing against Chavo. He's a good worker. I was happy for him when they gave him the ECW run. He deserved it. He'd been there long enough, and he'd been toiling around.
Best thing about Chavo was Kerwin White. I loved that character.
If it ain't white, it ain't right.
Exactly. I just thought, man, it's like, what is this shit going on? What's this fucking music hit? And then you see him coming out on his golf cart, having Nick Nemeth with him, just rocking out, man. Nicky! Or Dolph. Anyways.
But, you know, Chavo came out, it is what it is. TNA overhyped him, overhyped another mid-card guy, another mid-card recheck that's coming in as a focal point on their show.
Well, it's like this. I seen Hernandez came out. I haven't seen Hernandez in a while. I don't know if you know, when the last time I seen Hernandez was. And you got a guy that you were building up to be a main eventer in your company. He's been with the company forever. And you're overshadowing him with Chavo Guerrero. Now, I know Chavo was an ECW champion.
Yeah.
But he was the WWE ECW champion. It wasn't like the old school ECW.
Well, he's been a cruiserweight champion. He's been a tag.
I'm not taking away from his abilities. I'm not taking away from his abilities. Honestly, I think in certain aspects he was a better worker than Eddie. Eddie was just better on the stick.
Right.
And just better to entertain.
And then, you know, they shitted it up with Kid Cash and Gunner because Cash has no fucking talent on the mic at all.
No,
he's got a great moveset. He's got, yeah. But he's nothing on the mic.
Or are they putting them together as a tag team now, or?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
What?
What?
The ones that they're going to change their names too.
What's it going to be to now?
Gunner's going to be meth and Cash is going to be amphetamines.
Uh-oh.
That's what they look like at least.
They look like they, yeah.
But, you know, then you got the big running gimmick, the NWO rehash / Nexus rehash, the Aces and Eights, our heels of the week for TNA. We're not sure who it's going to be when they finally reveal it. Probably Jeff Jarrett, because that's the obvious choice. And
I like Jomo. I think it'll be Jomo.
John Morrison.
Yeah, I mean, he's been signed with them. He's not showed up yet on television.
Has he signed with them officially?
I've heard, but you know how the dirt sheets are. You never know. Until I see him on TV, I don't believe it. But where else is he going to go? Vince isn't going to do nothing with the kid right now.
So far, the rumors I've seen has been it's Luke Gallows, Wes Briscoe, Mike Knox, D'Lo Brown, and I can't remember if I've seen anybody other than that.
Well, that makes sense with the D'Lo, because usually, you know, whenever they do those cut scenes in the back, you always see D'Lo in the back. Now, for the past month or so, whenever the Aces and Eights have been out, I haven't seen D'Lo in none of the cut scenes in the back.
They're doing a damn good job of masking their identities with what they have them wearing, because it's hard to tell who they actually are. I tried to watch today. I'm a Luke Gallows fan. I've been a Luke Gallows fan for a while. I tried to watch and see if I could notice which one's Luke, and I couldn't. So it's either he's masking what he does in the ring, or they're masking it with the talent. But anyway, the Aces and Eights, I think that's our heel of the week for TNA.
Now, what did you like about the X Division storyline tonight?
It was pretty good. I like Kenny King. I'm a big fan of his. I think tying it in with Bobby Roode, tying that whole thing, making the X Division.
Even before all that, when Aries was doing his choices for who was going to go after it, he just kept screwing with Darso's kid.
Oh, that was good. I heard the repo business is doing well.
Exactly.
Is your dad Russian?
Exactly. All he needed was another demolition kick right in there. That would have been perfect.
Well, yeah. Nobody can be perfect. Ask Joe Hennig.
Yeah. I think Ziggler's getting there though.
No, he's good.
Anyway, that's for another show entirely.
But you know, we're gonna wrap this up here in a minute. We're gonna open this up like we like to do. We're going to give our question of the week, as this being a TNA and other show, is going to be, and this is something I personally feel, is Ring of Honor coming to an end? Is it the end of Ring of Honor's run? Are they going the way of the dinosaur, going the way of WCW, going the way of ECW? And, you know, I'm going to say my opinion. I already got a strong opinion on it. Gary's heard my opinion already. I'm going to save that for next week. I want you guys' opinion. Write in the comments on this page. We're going to put the links for our YouTube, our Twitter, and our Facebook. Give us a shout out there. Send us some messages there. We want to hear what your opinion is. what I think I'm going to come out and say next week. I don't want to let the cat out the bag, basically, because I want to hear what you guys have to say about it first. And we're going to read what you guys say out on the show. But basically, that's what we have for this week. Anything else you want to add about the TNA or any other shit?
I think we've covered pretty much a lot of it.
A lot of it?
A lot of it.
No, the one thing, the one throwaway. Sorry about this, folks. The shitty fucking editing. They would come back to commercial for 30 seconds.
Not even 30 seconds. You see like a suplex. Oh, well, we'll be right back for commercial breaks.
What the fuck was that?
You know, is it a way for them to get better ratings or anything like that? I don't know, but it's just stupid.
It just seemed like dumb shit rating to me. But anyway, that was basically the last thing I had. We're going to wrap this up because we don't want it to go too much longer. This has been our TNA and other show. My name is George Coles.
I'm Gary Rowe.
And this has been Heel Heat.